So someone who's now coming from, whether you, as a white South African, you will never understand the meaning of that struggle song to you intrinsically. It'll never have the same meaning to you, right? So you'll never understand the motivation of the people that sing it, right? You understand what I'm saying? For me personally, just to disclaim so that you don't think I'm trapping you, I don't agree with it being sung on a public platform for EFF or anything else, right? Because they're a new movement. They don't come from that struggle that they're singing about, right? And they're appropriating something. But that's neither here nor there. And also the purpose of it is just to annoy white people.
I don't think they're appropriating it. I think they're the grandchildren of the people that sang it.
Yeah, but they're in a new organization, and that organization was founded on the premise that it's going to kill the old organization.
So who should sing it? So nobody should sing it anymore.
If I decide I'm changing my family, I'm changing my surname to Maswangani, I'm not going to sing the Baloyi songs.
So who's got the right to sing that song? So nobody has.
No, I'm not saying that no one has the right.
So
everyone has the right to sing that song.
Of course, it shouldn't be sung. Of course, it shouldn't be sung. It shouldn't. Kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant, it is hate speech. Kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant, it is hate speech. And I did say that, guys, I don't care what the Constitutional Court says. This is dangerous for us as a country, and this is giving us a bad rep as a country. It is hate speech. And the reason why I'm saying kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant, it is hate speech is because the same people that are defending kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant would lose their minds if the Afrikaners would go out and chant kill black people, kill the darkies. Can you imagine the Afrikaners actually going to the Constitutional Court and saying that we want to be afforded a right to chant kill black people, kill the darkies? The black politicians in this country, they will lose their minds with their supporters. They would go out and protest and start banning things. If the Afrikaners would say that we are going to the Constitutional Court, we want to be allowed because we believe that we have our own reasons why we want to chant kill black people, kill the darkies. The black politicians, they would totally lose their minds. The supporters of these politicians and these political parties, they will lose their minds. And that alone actually shows you that kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is hate speech. I mean, this guy over here, Renaldo Gouws, this guy was hounded by the Human Rights Commission. This guy was hounded by the Human Rights Commission for saying what I'm saying right now. Luckily, I'm black. They cannot come to me and try to do what they did to Ronaldo. If the Afrikaners would chant kill black people, kill the darkies, the same people will lose their minds. Just look at DJ's Boo here. Over here, this man, he's angry at the thought that kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant should not be sung. Like, he's totally angry. Like, how can you even try to insinuate that this thing should not be chanted? We need to go out and chant kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant because we are the grandchildren of the people that used to chant kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant. I mean, guys, this chant has no place in modern day South Africa. It has no place in modern day South Africa. And I've seen many people saying that this is our heritage as black people. No, guys, kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant, it is not our heritage. It is not our heritage. It is not. I don't understand why in 2025 we are still debating about this. I mean, like the people that lived in the past in apartheid, I would maybe understand if they say that we lived in different times. We were abused by the brutal regime of apartheid. We were killed. We were mistreated by the brutal regime of apartheid. And we were chanting these just to pump ourselves up. I would understand the people that were there in apartheid chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant. But 30 years into modern day South Africa, 30 years into democracy, we are still chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant. Why? Why? We have been free for the past 30 years. And one thing that I hate about the black politicians in this country is that they don't spew the message of encouragement. They don't go out and tell the people that, guys, it is hard. We understand that it is hard. And this is what we must do so that we can progress in our lives. But the black politicians in this country, they like it when black people are down and depressed so that they can control them. This is what they like. This is why the successful black politicians are telling the black majority people that, guys, you cannot be successful because the system that was set up by white people, it was set up to keep you down as a black child. So you need to understand that as a black child, you will always be down there. Do not look at us. We are the exception. We are the exception. So how is it possible that South Africans can actually look at successful politicians that are multimillionaires, telling them that they cannot succeed, but somehow the same politicians have managed to succeed in this system that is hard for black child to actually go up? They like it when black people are down. And it seems like black people in this country, they like it too when they are down and divided by the politicians. And can you tell me, in 2025, why are we still talking about kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant? With all the problems that we are facing in this country today, the black politicians and the mainstream media, the only thing they are interested in, it is race politics, so that they can divide the people. This is what they are interested in. This is the only thing that they want to talk about, because the black politicians in this country, they do not have the solutions for the problems that are facing the country today. They don't even want to talk about the problems that are facing this country today. The only thing that they want to talk about, it is race politics, and keep telling black people that, guys, you are never going to succeed. This system that was set by white people, it was set up so that you can stay down as a black child. Man, it is so frustrating, man. It is so frustrating. So frustrating. So frustrating. Kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant, it has no place in modern day South Africa. And there's nothing that actually frustrates me with people saying that it is our heritage. It is not our heritage. It is not our heritage.
What I'm saying is
In
that as a
2025,
polit-
it should
no,
be said.
as a okay. The thing is that I'm going to deviate from my point, right?
Sorry, I'm
But
playing devil's
no,
advocate.
you're playing
Devil's
devil's
advocate,
advocate.
yeah, sure.
So I want to differentiate. The reason why I'm saying this is that the EFF is a political party. There's different standards for an individual, a civic organization, a grouping, and a political party. A political party has got representation in legislature and all those things in the Judicial Services Commission. So they pick the judges in the judiciary, and also in some spheres of government, you know what I mean? They're the ones that get appointed into spheres of government. I think only a handful of ministers can be appointed onto cabinets that don't come from parliament themselves, that are not members of parliament. It's very limited. So they're the ones who've got the greatest responsibility of creating or nourishing the soil for the society that they want to see germinating and growing and becoming fruitful. Now, with the EFF's clout chasing using kill the Boer, for me it cheapens kill the Boer. It wasn't used for clout chasing. You understand what I'm saying? And also, there was a real struggle when it was being sung. So now, when we're not in that struggle, there's no reason to bring us back there, because
That's
our
my
Of course.
problem.
Of course. Of course. Of course. And this is exactly what we are saying. This is exactly what we are saying.
We're not in that struggle. There's no reason to bring us back there, because
That's my
our problem.
I think that's the point that a lot of people have.
That's where we agree. Where we disagree, though, is that by calling for the song to be banned, you're setting a very bad precedent, because the same arguments you're using to say kill the Boer should not be sung, it's not appropriate, is the same arguments I can use by saying I feel oppressed by singing Distem.
So
I mean, like, why are people feeling oppressed or offended by singing this stem? Why? Why? Because many people have actually made this argument to say that, oh, Thomas, we must continue chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant, because even in South African national anthem, we have this stem, and this stem offends us. It offends us, this stem. Even the EFF, like the EFF have basically refused to sing the stem. But one thing I don't understand is that have people actually tried to translate this stem and see what it says? How can you be offended by what this stem says? Or are you offended by the fact that it is sung in Afrikaans? Maybe I think this is why people feel offended by this stem, because it is sung in Afrikaans. But if you look at the words, what can offend you about those words? I don't understand. Maybe people just need to come out and say that we do not appreciate having Afrikaners in our national anthem. Yeah, man, like be bold with it. Be bold and say that we don't want Afrikaans in our national anthem. Don't say that you are feeling offended by singing the stem, because there is absolutely nothing offending about the stem. Translate the lyrics of the stem and see what it says. And see what it says. And tell us what is offensive about those words in the stem. Be bold and say that we don't want Afrikaans in our national anthem. Be bold with it, man.
The reason that I believe that the song should not be sung is not because it hurts my feelings. It's because we live in a country with 84 murders a day. Should we be singing songs about killing people in a violent country?
No.
So let me ask you a question. The old South African flag, are you happy that it's banned? Do you prefer that it should be banned, or should it be...
Can I choose not to answer that question?
That's fine.
So the old South African flag is banned, and that is not setting a bad precedent. But if people want to kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant to be banned, it is setting the wrong precedent. I mean, like, guys, the hypocrisy, man. The hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. So it only sets a bad precedent when it talks about the things that they do. But when it comes to things that other people do, like, nah, it's totally fine. I don't understand.
Let me ask you a question. The old South African flag, are you happy that it's banned? Do you prefer that it should be banned, or should it be...
Can I choose not to answer that question?
That's fine.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't think any symbols of our history should be erased.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not a fan of the old South African flag.
No, I just don't want to answer specifically on the old South African flag.
Yeah.
Because,
I can see where you don't like anything being banned, but it doesn't mean that you support it, right?
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is a piece of cloth.
Yeah.
Because let's bring it down to brass tacks. A piece of cloth was banned because of what it represents, right? So does logic then not follow that a song that is asking for people to be killed 31 years into our democracy is not needed in a country where we have 84 murders a day? It's not because it hurts my feelings. It's not because of anything other than, if you think of that song being sung, don't think of Julius Malema. Think of the dumbest person in that crowd.
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, this person might be idolizing Julius Malema. And he has now sent Julius Malema 100 WhatsApps because he's got his private number, and the guy's not reaching out to him. And the way in which his head he thinks he can reach out to Julius Malema is to go and do what Julius Malema every single time at the end of the rally says, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. I'm saying, I'm using an example. I'm not saying that's...
No. I want you to explain your...
So the thing is, you only need the dumbest person in a crowd. And it could be a white person, could be a cut. I'm not saying it's a black person, but the dumbest person in that crowd hear that and go, okay, it's an instruction. And then goes and implements that. That's one death too many. Because if we prevent people from singing that song, we are actually... Look, I mean, if we were in a country that had normal murder rates, then I'm assuming that people wouldn't be as offensive and or offended and feel that the song is not building unity. Because ultimately, why should a song like that still be sung?
Because it's a political message. It's not a message to inspire violence.
For you, Nota.
No.
For you.
I mean, for you, of course, like they just gave you an example that in a rally filled with tens and tens of thousands of people, they might actually be dumb people that can actually go out and implement what Julius Malema is chanting. Of course, maybe you can say, for me, I understand the ruling of the Constitutional Court. I understand that this chant doesn't actually mean that we must go out and kill the people, but they are actually dumb people that are willing to do anything to impress their leaders. So you can't tell me that in a stadium filled with 100,000 people, chanting kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it is not going to inspire not even a single person to go out and kill a white person. I'm like, guys, come on, man, let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. And this is dangerous. And the reason why I'm saying that it is dangerous, you look at the clips of Julius Malema and what he has said about white people before. You look at the fact that this man that has actually said that we have not yet decided to slit the throat of whiteness yet. And the same guy goes on stage and chants, kill the Boer, kill the farmer chant. And last week or 2 weeks ago, the Secretary General of the EFF was out there telling the supporters of the EFF to occupy the land that is not theirs. I mean, like, tell me, how do you expect the people to occupy the land that is not theirs without the killing? How do you expect those people to go into the lands and occupy those lands without the killing? Because in stadium, you chanted, kill the Boer, kill the farm, and now you are telling them to go out and occupy the lands. Tell me if that is not an instruction. Tell me if that is not an instruction. Tell me if that is not an instruction. It is.
No.
You can't speak on behalf of everybody else. You can't.
What I'm trying to say is that any white person that can then say a person in the crowd of EFF is stupid just on the fact that they're there for an EFF person is either partisan or racist. You have to
Nota, they are stupid people, man. They are stupid people. They are stupid people. And you look at the EFF, I mean, like, the EFF as a political party, it is a political party that is loved by foreign nationals in this country. A lot of foreign nationals, they love the EFF. I mean, like, look at the Zimbabweans. Like, Julius Malema has actually spoken on behalf of these foreign nationals. He has actually insulted South Africans on behalf of the foreign nationals. And these are the people that have actually chased out white people in their own countries. So why would it be hard for the same people to go out and implement what Julius Malema is saying in South Africa? Why? There are stupid people. You can't tell me that in a stadium filled with 100,000 people, there is not a single stupid person there. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that. Of course, there are stupid people that are there. There are stupid people that are there, and they will do anything to please the EFF. They will do anything to please the CIC. So this notion that, no, if you say that in a rally of the EFF, they can be a stupid person, it's either you are partisan or you are racist. I mean, come on. Let's be realistic, man. Let's be realistic. There are stupid people everywhere. You will find white people that are stupid. You will find the Afrikaners that are stupid. You will find the Indians that are stupid. You will find the Bangladeshis that are stupid. You will find black people that are stupid. You will find the colors that are stupid. We have stupidity abroad. We have stupidity abroad. So the idea that if you say that there might be a couple of people that are stupid in the rally of the EFF, it means that you are partisan or you are a racist. I mean, like, it is disingenuous, man.
to choose which one on the side you have to be on, right? The second reason why I would say that is because we don't have a Zulu mach, a Xhosa mach, a Shangani mach, a Tsonga mach, or anything else. Black people have never at any point in time gathered together to kill whites. During apartheid, we did not attack the farms, even though that's where the whites make their money. You understand what I'm saying? So if we really wanted to sabotage the economy of the white man, the MK and Mandela and them wouldn't have been taking down electricity pylons, and all that stuff. And my family members actually did that, So even also this manifesto of everything.
But guys, the farms are not the economy of white people. I mean, like, if you destroy the farms, how do you expect the people to get the food? If Mandela and his people would have actually went out and destroyed the farms, how were South Africans actually going to be fed? I mean, like, isn't this common sense?
Anything else, my family members actually taught us the manifestos. When I was a child being brought up, I was taught that us as black people, we need to resist non-violently, that we come from a non-violent movement, that the killing of civilians is completely forbidden. That is our culture. Just in the same way as you trust an Afrikaner to adhere to their culture, our culture is non-violence. So the suggestion, right, that the inspiration to doing violence against whites will come from a song is a Western thought, because that is Western culture. Westerners are the ones that go around the world savaging people, inspiring. Hitler has only got one ball, the other is in the Albert Hall. Himmler is something similar, and poor old Goebbels has no balls at all. I'm a South African kid. I know that song. That was sung in Britain. That was part of the propaganda message that justified the slaughter of, the Christians in Dresden when they were bombed. You know what I mean? Winston Churchill sent a South African pilot, John Sherwood Kelly, right, to bomb the Bolsheviks during the the First World War, right? John Sherwood Kelly is a South African or Air Force member that was given the Victoria's Cross, which is the highest honor. It's like the Medal of Honor in America. And he did not bomb the Bolsheviks, right? So all of that stuff comes from Western culture. And therefore, if you come from a culture that's like that, you must remember that your culture is based on what the leaders do, right? So everybody else that follows. I don't expect someone who's a peasant, Boer farmer or anything else to know the evil intent of the leadership that was in charge at the time. You know what I mean? I don't expect them to predict that, one day we're going to be enemies of black people because they'll see us as oppressors and all these things. But even though that we weren't really trying to oppress them, we're just trying to build ourselves up from being, in hell. We literally came out of shit. We're living in shit. We're dying in shit. That's what killed the Afrikaners, is dysentery. You know what I mean? It's eating feces, cholera, all that type of shit, not having sanitary services, like not being civilized. So the Afrikaner had to become a Dutch settler or a former indentured servant who's lost his kingdom, who's lost his identity, who's lost his place in life, right? And then make something of themselves. And through the assistance of their enemy, the people that were killing them already. So already you're in the hands of your enemy. You're going to be used as a tool to kill yourself. So already that the motivation that comes from the Afrikaner, right, is that you have to mistrust everyone because each and every single person has betrayed you. Your king betrayed you. He left you there. You understand? And the people that then conquered you, they betrayed you. Then the people that you were ruling over, and then you handed the country over because now you're like, okay, let's kill this apartheid idea. It's actually a British idea, but we were just the managers of it. Okay, now we're killing it. Okay, now we voted for a referendum and everything else. Oh, now you want to kill us. Do you understand where that comes from? It comes from being betrayed by everyone. If you only have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And to white people, they only have a hammer. They only have the history of either their victimhood or their conquering. That's the only two histories of white people. There is no history that is not related to war, or conquest or anything else. So that's already where the white person comes from a culture perspective. So that's why even when Sbu and I were having that conversation, when all of this stuff started to come about, the racial tensions that really festered a lot at the beginning of this year with Trump's inauguration, when we were speaking about it, and on that cited episode that got me sent to the Human Rights Council, our friends, right? They are friends now, right? You saw them. Wait, you've never been there. So
I want to talk about that later. I'll talk about it later.
Say something so that you can also go.
This guy has got BCCSA up his.
He's got the
human rights for us, who are podcasters.
Finish your point. I want to come then to
So now, if you just look at how under threat the white person is, I understand. I'm saying that as a black person who's lived and grown up with white people, I understand why they interpret it like that. But as a black person who's also lived and grown up with black people, I know for certain that no song is ever going to inspire us to kill Ubas.
No, that's according to you.
No.
You can't speak on behalf of other people. You can only speak on behalf of Nota Baloyi.
Exactly.
You can only speak on behalf of yourself. So I get it. And and I respect your opinion and I value that you feel that way. But like I said, they also your aspect with regards to cultures. Dude, we live in a multicultural society now for 31 years. You want to tell me that there hasn't been a little bit of Dutch influence and a little bit of Xhosa or Zulu influence in, the white Afrikaner sort of way of seeing? Because there has been a transcendence across cultures. So what I'm saying is...
Please take this picture. It used to be Beker. Until we got the language and then we turned it into Beker.
So the point...
Sorry, I'm just showing you the Dutch.
That's all good. So the point that I'm making is just that we've got a young generation and a younger generation that I would say is our age, where we saw the shit end of what this country was and then this new hope. Now, what I'm saying is there are people out there that might be influenced that might not live according to what your beliefs of a cultural, a Xhosa or a Zulu cultural society is. And they might be open to the aspect that song might mean that we actually literally want to kill somebody.
Zimbabwean immigrants, maybe.
Yeah.
They did it already in their country. They went and attacked the farms. they forced Mugabe to now say we are seizing the land because they did it themselves.
Please let him finish his point.
Yeah, no, I'm letting him finish. I'm just expanding on it.
Comments. He's not letting me finish. I'm just joking. The point that I'm making is, in 2025, dude, there's why?
No, I agree with you on that.
Why?
I agree with you, but now
even they did a survey. Thanks. Thanks. They did a thing in which they asked the voters of the different political parties, do they support the singing of the song? I believe it was the EFF were the only party that had over 50%. I think they had 60%. So 40% of the EFF voter base said they don't want the song to be sung. The DA, the Freedom Front Plus, the ANC, MK, all of them.
I don't have a problem with the song being sung. You must remember, right? I have a problem with the EFF being the ones that are singing it.
I have a problem with the song being sung irrespective. If
I understand.
If a white person had to sing that song, I would have a problem with it. If a colored person had to sing that song, I've got a problem with it. This is bigger than Julius Malema. Julius Malema is just doing it for show.
Yes.
But the people that he's singing to across South Africa might not perceive it that way. That's what I'm saying.
I know that I understand, right? And that is your belief from the culture that you come from. Our belief as black people is that song is a struggle song. It comes from history. We know it. We grew up with struggle songs. We grew up with...
But I don't understand, Nota. You just made a good point about these immigrants that are in the country. And we know that most of these immigrants, they love the EFF. And like you rightly said, that these people have already done it in their own country. So if they come into this country and they follow someone like Julius Malema, who is chanting, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, occupy the lands of white people, what actually makes you think that these people are not going to implement what this song say? I honestly do not understand this back and forth, because at one point Nota understands that okay, in modern day South Africa, like there's no need for this chant to be chanted, or he doesn't want the EFF to chant this because of course like Julius Malema is doing it for just cloud chasing. But even if Julius Malema is doing it for cloud chasing, you have to look at the people that are following him. That is where the threat is. The people that are following him. The people that are following him. These are the people that are actually posing the threat. Because you say, okay, maybe in our black culture as South Africans, we understand that no song can actually push us into killing people. But what about these immigrants that are following the EFF that do not have the same culture as us? What about these people? Because they do not understand this song as much as black South Africans understand this song. If your argument is that black South Africans understand that the song cannot push them into killing people, but what happens if the immigrants that do not have the background that we have as black South Africans starts to chant the same chant? What is going to happen? Because they do not understand what black South Africans understand, meaning that it is still a threat for this chant to be chanted. It is still a threat.
All of these things, right? We've been living with white people for 30 years. We have never killed them once. We didn't kill them even when we had a reason to, when we were being oppressed. We don't believe.
Well, there were killings. I mean,
no. There's no black people that went to go kill white people. We sabotaged electricity pylons. We blew up things. Yes, but we weren't killing. There was no civilian killings. You must remember, I'm telling you, this is our cultural doctrine. All our movements, whether it be the PAC, Azapo, all of those people, right? The resistance movement was not about now killing civilians. A soldier, SADF guy, yes, he can go. Same with Jonas Savimbi, he can go because he helped them in Angola, right? But in terms of killing civilians, that is not part of our culture. So it becomes very difficult now to have this argument in this discussion that we have, because look at how strongly we are holding on to our beliefs. You're very strongly held in that it just takes one person to kill. And then all of a sudden, our fears come into reality. And you don't even want 0 deaths. In fact, you want this minus 0 deaths.
I think we should focus on decreasing the amount of murder that's in this country. There are 84 murders a day, a violent sexual crime every few seconds.
Over 80% of those are black people that are being murdered.
And that should...
And of course, that should actually tell you how violent we are as this country. It should actually tell you. The fact that the majority of black people are the ones that are being slaughtered, and they are being slaughtered by other black people, it should tell you that we are a very violent country. It should
happen.
Now,
I'm not, so no, let me just make it clear. I'm not talking about, hey, I'm a white guy and that's why I'm saying let's not sing it because it's not uniting the nation, firstly. And secondly, there's a risk that people would take it as an instruction and go and kill.
Yeah. Now,
I'm not saying saying everybody's going to wake up one night and go kill the Boer. And I'm not saying Uhuru, Night of the Long Knives, that nonsense. I'm not saying that. I'm saying let's look at what's happening in South Africa in 2025. Like, let me ask you this: is racism the biggest issue in South Africa in 2025?
Yes.
Do you believe that? So unemployment,
yes. Racism can be used to distract us from each and every single problem in South Africa.
And this is exactly what the politicians are doing.
If we're talking about gender-based violence or whatever, it's going to be, oh no, the black people are not being policed enough, or the black people are being over-policed when it comes to gender-based violence. The white people are not policed. When a white man slaps his wife, he can still go back to his job. When a black man does it, he loses every single opportunity. Every single issue that we want to discuss, you throw race in the mix.
Yeah, but you're throwing race into the mix.
No, but that's what I'm saying, that the fact that we can always use the race card, and it's an ambulance, it's a, you know what I mean, it's a sprinkler. Every time, let's just throw the race card. I don't want Mama Joy accompanying the Springboks because I don't want my tax money to pay for fans to go to France. You're white. Your point is missed.
I mean, like, this is what the politicians do. And I'm sorry, but this is what South Africans have actually allowed the politicians to do. South Africans have actually allowed the politicians to distract them with racism. They have actually allowed the politicians to distract them with this. And this is the reason why this country is where it is today. This is the reason why this country is where it is today. So guys, if you want to watch the whole episode, please go to the Hustlers podcast, Hustlers Corners podcast. I think it was a very nice interview. But for now, let me go. Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.